Fantastic. Alrighty, thanks for having us. This is the Alatus building, which we've just completed for Peninsula Grammar. But we'd like to first of all acknowledge the traditional custodians of land, past, present, and future, and also respect their elders. This is the team. We were both the architects, did interiors and landscape, and hired for the structural engineers and wrapped for the services engineers. This was the client. That's the principal on the right there, and the second in charge and the prefects who were at the opening ceremony, who are obviously key players through the whole works. That was the opening ceremony. It's the 50th anniversary for the school, so it was quite an important building. But before we start, I'll just talk a little bit about the site. Originally, as mentioned, the land was Boonwurrung, or still is, Bunurong peoples in the Kulin Nation. And they lived very happily down there until Captain Matthew Flinders turned up at Arthur's Seat one day. But we can chat a little bit further about that a bit further on. In the 1924s, the estate was designed by Walter Billy Griffin's wife, Marion Mahoney, and it was actually a golf course. The Orange Square is the site, and it was a country club as well. So it's quite a historic and beautiful piece of land. And here's some early photos from the 1957. There you can sort of see where the golf links were. In 61, Peninsula Grammar, the school acquired the site, and their sort of first row of kids, they weren't learning in a tent, but it was pretty close too. It was a very kind of modernist area, and a site that was set in the trees, and you can sort of see historically how it's sat. The site's about 65k from Melbourne, and it does have a very different feel to some of the other grammar schools, the Bluestone schools in the city and Geelong. It's an interesting site. It's wedged between the Nepean Highway and some major infrastructure, but it is well serviced. It does have great views, city views and bay views, and the surrounds as well. So here we are. Here's the campus itself. And it's called a campus in the trees. They call it that itself, and it's a very green campus. I guess it's is one of its great attributes, and we were very keen to work around that. The current entry to site, the campus is from Warralla Drive, where that arrow is, and the site we were given is at the very end of the school, and at that point was really the back end of the school, and not much loved really. All the buildings face the other direction. So here we are here. The access was slightly convoluted as well, but it was an important piece, which we also helped with the master plan to provide this building. And it's basically a middle years resource centre, self-paced learning, innovation, creative technologies. So here's site analysis there. As I said, there was some interesting connection points we had to work through. It does have great views of the oval. There was some noise from service vehicles going through the school. Orientated north up the page, which was also challenging. Here's the building here. It really has turned the school around. It now has sort of a multi-directional and I think far more appropriate way of working. And we also modified how vehicles enter the site. We chose to use timber, which we thought was also a nice move, and the school was very much embracing this as a very innovative building for them. We looked at the landscape as well, so it was really fairly derelict, as mentioned. We created a pedestrian viewing zone, and we also a zone for the kids to work outside, passive courtyards and opportunities to sort of create how vehicles move to the site. So the landscape was quite extensive. We utilised native trees around the oval, which again, they hadn't quite finalised, and we worked with maples internally, which was part of the school's ethos already. The building was really designed around, creating a presence. As I said, it was blue gum timber. It's a beautiful material. We created a series of courtyards so that kids can work outside as well with Wi-Fi and teaching spaces. But it really was a building which sort of created this link and wanted to take the opportunity to take advantage of both its views and location in the trees, but also create this very innovative way of thinking and teaching. We worked hard to keep as much trees as we can. In fact, we planted more and really take advantage of this connection inside, outside, with the ability to teach both in and outside the school at the same time. Ground floor plan, you can sort of see there's 3 maker spaces on the left and a kind of learning precinct, a central corridor, which we created into a gallery and some video, virtual reality rooms, and then an outdoor treed courtyard, which is an outdoor teaching space. This is early days in landscaping. And then we created this new connection down to the oval. Inside, with the actual classrooms and teaching spaces are actually, the building itself is also part of the teaching experience. All the services are exposed. We worked hard with the engineers to make sure they all lined up, concrete polished floors. But again, the ability to make anything from robots to artwork to basically as they wish to use the space. There's roller doors externally to open to external spaces and internal labs as well. So it's quite a raw space, but it is, again, quite refreshing for a school that was relatively traditional, and they've really enjoyed the experience of using it. Virtual reality room and breakaway classrooms. The main entrance corridor, which we also doubled as a gallery, which is a space they also didn't have at that time. Worked with Indigenous artists on the fabric of the chairs here. Created a double height space, and expressing a lot of timber. Upstairs was more a resource centre, a library, I guess, without books sometimes, IT, and a main presentation space. In fact, here it is without books because it was just open. A light fitting which we designed on a local, utilising a local plant, and that was also handcrafted in Geelong. Some breakout spaces, and again, some IT staff. The main presentation space, I think is it Dave, 70 people, 80 people, which again, single floor, it's really a key space for the school. And it has openable windows on either side of the screen, so you can have blackout conditions, and or during a lecture, you can again engage with the outside world. Elevations, all very controlled. We carefully detailed this building. Stainless steel rods. Sorry?
1 minute.
Okay, we'll go a bit quickly. A few more shots of it, the external courtyard, some of the detail you can see here, section. And there's the outdoor teaching space, which again has been utilised very heavily by the school. Some of the detailing. We worked to construct the builder very closely. It was all they really came on board with the timber itself, and it's it's sitting beautifully in the site. It's a nighttime shot. I think that's the last slide. Yes, it is. So there we go. Hopefully, just ahead of time.